Welcome to Lindsborg, a Swedish town in the middle of Kansas. But our story takes place in Brainard, Minnesota, where there are lots of Scandinavians, especially the Andersons. Oh, but I do have Minnesota license plates. Everything from cobblestone streets to murals and Swedish art. They're doing everything they can in Lindsborg to preserve their heritage. But in Minnesota, it is music, particularly fiddling and violin making, that is preserving the heritage of the Andersons.
Is it G? G, one sharp. Not too fast. The old farm in Sweden where my great-great-grandfather came from. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 99% sure that Adam and Eve's last name was Anderson. Yep.
And our family settled here and our roots have stayed and they run deep in central Minnesota.
Which is the old homestead that my grandpa homesteaded when he came from Sweden.
He came, settled in Iowa. I don't remember all the details, but I know his wife was ill. They went and talked to the doctor, and the doctor said, whatever her illness was, said, you need to get up in the pines in northern Minnesota, and that'll help her feel better. So that's what happened. They moved up here and settled on a lake, central Minnesota, and I guess the rest is history.
My dad played some Scandinavian music. He was a violinist too, self-taught. Then I found some friends that were doing the original Scandinavian fiddling. That's what we do. We play the old Scandinavian folk tunes, marches, wedding marches.
Music is something that's pretty special to me, and to have it passed down in our family is pretty cool.
Done it all my life. 10 years old, I got this bass when I was 10 years old. Been beat up really bad and fixed up over the years, but still hanging on.
These ones are gonna bend like this. I'm working on the scroll, which is the top windy part of the violin.
I've been making for 40 years almost now. I studied in Italy in the little town of Cremona where the name Antonio Stradivari lived and worked. And there's a school there. And I studied for 4.5 years. You can go around here and you're going to just go like that until you start to get this curve, and that's what they'll want to see. I've been making instruments. Let's see, I think I've made how many violins? 370 violins so far. Some violas, cellos, bass.
Well, like that? Is that where it's going, Arnie?
The last 10 years I've been teaching kids how to play. Some of these kids here.
Oh, you've seen all these kids. They're all my grandkids. We have 18 of them. They love it. And I'm sure they're going to continue. We got plans for even bigger and better things.
Okay, now we got to make this curve, which is more difficult. And so I thought, well, they should know how to make a violin too. Good to pass on the tradition. I can make a violin in about 2 weeks' time unvarnished. The varnishing takes longer. But my first violin took me months to make as well.
I think that's where I got my travel bug. I love to travel. So growing up, he was in Europe, riding bicycle around, touring Europe.
Went over to Norway, over to Sweden, to where I knew my relatives left Sweden, Eskilstuna.
Story goes that he was going to go and visit Israel when the Six-Day War broke out. So that kept him in Italy, and then he ended up at a music school and also where he learned how to build instruments in Cremona, Italy. So when he came back My sister and I rode with him. I think we went to Milwaukee and picked up his first load of wood that he got from somewhere in Italy.
Supposedly, even the same area that Stradivari got his spruce tops. And my friend and I together shipped about 4.5 tons of wood back to the States. So I have wood for my life.
And I think that's some of the wood that my daughters are building their first instruments with him right now.
And then to have my own that I made. Not many people can say that, so.
We've got some crazy deep roots in the Brainard Lakes area.
The violin's given me awful lot. It's given me my livelihood for 40, 45 years now.
But music is a wonderful pastime. It just brings everybody together.